Hello everyone, Storm101 here. Today we'll be taking a look into the tropics here. Seems like things are starting to get a little bit active early on this year. We're also got a couple of other things to talk about as well, like the heat ridge that's going to be moving in. Well, really start to build up across the eastern United States. Maybe some severe weather probabilities for parts of the Rockies, Central, and Northern Plains as well. So let's go ahead and get started with the tropics. And yeah, we got systems, two different systems to watch. So system number one is closer to Bermuda here. Now, it has a pretty high probability. We do expect this to probably develop into what probably could be a subtropical storm here. Right now, it's not that organized at this time here, but we do expect this to become a subtropical storm, but does not have any threat to the U.S. land from that system. But it may pose a little threat to Bermuda. If they're going to get some impacts, it's probably going to be some showers, maybe some gusty winds. But you're going to start to see this system start to turn around and move in that direction as well because of this ridge that's going to be here across the eastern United States as well. Then we got this other system. This popped up last night, and this has a 60% chance of developing over the next 48 hours to 5 days. And that's going to be making landfall late tonight into early tomorrow morning. So we'll talk about that as well. So let's go ahead and take a look into some modeling here. So this is Invest 90L here. And you can see here by satellite imagery, you got your center of the storm right here. A little bit of convection on the northeast side here, so it's still not that organized of the storm. But intensity guidance does show this dying down as well, which may bring down probabilities a little bit. If it's saying it's going to have a hard time organizing, which it seems to be the case. But you can see the tracks of the system right here, if that's going to load here. But if we could look at from this view, but you can see here, most model guidance takes it out to sea, pretty much a fish storm. That's what we'll call this here. And here's a closer look here. Here's Bermuda right here. And the center of the storm's right here, and it'll make a U-turn to the northeast here because of a high pressure system off to its west. So not going to be a big deal of a system there, but just of it interesting. Then let's talk about Invest 91L, and you can see here by satellite imagery here, the center of the storm is right here. We're actually starting to see some convection trying to build up on the eastern side of this low here. If that's going to be the case, this could get a little bit more organized enough to may actually become a tropical storm, which will more than likely be weak, but maybe at least a tropical depression here. But we do have a problem here, and that's going to be the cooler waters that's out here. And this is kind of coming from the effects from over the winter, where places were really cold that made the Gulf waters here, the Gulf of Mexico waters, some of these places here pretty chilly. And some of these temperatures, I believe it's probably solid below average here in some places here. And this low here will be eventually taking a turn to the northwest here, may bring in some effects to Corpus Christi. I'm going to have to look on the map there. I highly doubt that's how you say that big city name in Texas. I'll probably get it right in a moment. But you can see here by modeling here, it's going to be making landfall somewhere in southeastern Texas here. But really the primary threat here is, even though if it doesn't develop into a tropical depression or tropical storm, the primary threat is really going to be the rain. And a lot of these places have seen a lot of rain over, during May here, especially mid-May. Some of these places been getting several inches of rain, and some places got over a foot of rain, especially across places in Texas and Louisiana. Those places got hit really hard. But this may bring in some flooding issues to areas on the East Coast here, and maybe a little bit further inland as well. That's really going to be the primary threat. This system here may bring in some gusty winds, but overall, the flooding is going to be the primary threat with the system here as well. And you can see here about the intensity guidance, most hurricane models, only two of them bring it to tropical storm strength. but it seems like they're not really that confident of this system here becoming a tropical storm. But the possibility is still there, but it's just a very, very low chance. But this may have opportunity to become a tropical depression. So I made this last night here. A lot of people had doubt with this system last night till they issued a statement, I believe, later last night. I made this outlook here before the National Hurricane Center even mentioned it. And last night here, I don't know how many times I'm going to say that, but over the next 2 days, 30% chance. Now, the time I made this map here is down here. Well, now it's approximately right here. And it looks like it's going to have a turn right towards Corpus Christi here as well. I'm giving it a low chance, but since then, I'm going to bump up the chances to probably a 50-50 shot here of becoming a system here. I do have a tropical system strength probabilities. Again, it's a 50% chance of becoming a tropical depression. I'm still going to keep that very, well, very low 5% chance for a tropical storm. And category 1 to category 5 is a 0%. More than likely not to become a hurricane. But this may have a probability, a chance of becoming a tropical depression, like I said, throughout this video here. But yeah, for anybody that's watching southeastern Texas, watch out for the chance for some flooding from the system here. Other than that, I don't think we're going to see anything too major from this system as well. So that's the tropics side of things. Let's go ahead and move on to what else is going on across the country currently. We actually got a big time ridge across the eastern United States. This is bringing in some very warm temperatures, especially across the southeast here, where some places are going to get into the 90s, possibly over this weekend here and into early next week. Um, could bring in some record highs to some of these places in here, probably off by a couple degrees, but it'll be close. Meanwhile, in the west, we got a big trough here, and this is something the west does need, a trough that can bring in some rain, cooler weather, because the drought is getting pretty bad out there. But what's also going to be interesting with that trough there, this is going to be dying down, but it's going to be moving to the northeast. And it may bring in a little bit, could become a little bit negatively tilt here. And you can see here as we move into the 23rd of May here, which is in 2 days. So this is Sunday morning. We got a negative tilt trough going on here, and this is going to be ejecting to the northeast here. And this may actually bring some severe weather across parts of the Rockies here and plains as well. And some of these places I actually haven't seen severe weather in a while. More to be focused on Montana, Wyoming, parts of South Dakota, and Nebraska. Some of these places I actually haven't seen severe weather in a little bit. But if we move on to SPC outlook here, we do have a slight risk for severe weather across northeastern Colorado and also for western Nebraska and a couple counties in South Dakota. Tornado probabilities are there, got a 5% chance, which includes during Colorado and some other rural areas in there as well. Winds will also be there. There can also be some very large hail as well within that slight risk. You also got a couple other marginals here. You got a marginal risk for southeastern Texas, southwestern Louisiana. You got a marginal risk for parts of Idaho and western Wyoming. You also got a marginal risk for parts of upper Michigan, a good chunk of Wisconsin into northeastern Iowa as well. Day 2, which is tomorrow, we got a slight risk for severe weather, really from southwestern Texas all the way up into western Nebraska here. Primary threats, tornado threat, it'll be low end, but it'll be there. Damage winds will also be there, and also the chance for some hail. This is actually a border-to-border risk from the Mexico border all the way up into the Canadian border. Pretty large risk area there. Then on day 3 here, we got a slight risk for severe weather. This is for the same trough for northeastern Colorado, northwestern Kansas, the western half of Nebraska, most of the Dakotas as well, with a large marginal risk. Check out that marginal risk. From south to north, that's really from southwestern Texas, eastern New Mexico, all the way up into the Canadian border. Then from west to east, it's really from eastern Montana, eastern Wyoming, all the way into the east coast of Maine. So a very large marginal risk area here. The probabilities are pretty low from in the areas in the marginal, but the areas in the slight will probably be the area to watch here. I mean, check out how many people that live in there. That marginal risk, 55.7 million people in that marginal risk. So pretty large marginal risk, but this is for areas in the marginal risk. This is not expected to be a major severe weather event or anything. Just a low end risk. But I would watch areas in the slight risk, especially when that trough is going to be negatively tilt. We may have a little bit of an increased tornado threat across all those places in there as well. Not only that, but you got damaged winds and possibly some hail with some of those storms as well. So kind of moving back to the GFS model here with the 500 millibar height anomalies. Now, hopefully this is not going to be the pattern here for the southeastern United States here with this ridge here. If that's going to be the case throughout the summer, that's not good for the drought conditions. Um, I believe right now, these places in here, approximately, are currently experiencing drought. Some of these places are actually experiencing major drought conditions as well. So this is not good here. And we're actually starting to see drought kind of come up across parts of the southeast here, which will likely be happening probably beginning this weekend here to early next week. We'll probably start to see some places that'll get normally dry as well. And that probably could expand a little further to the northwest as well. So we definitely have to monitor that as well. But hopefully this won't stick around for long, which some models do indicate that that ridge will break down into the middle of next week. But we also need to watch for some of these places in here that may experience, for some of these places may actually experience more rain here. Which if we take a look into the CFS Weekly model, uh, definitely I really like the CFS Weekly. It does a really good job, especially in 8 to 14 days. It actually does a really good job. So this is 8 to 14 days. So this is May the 28th to the 4th of June. It does predict some ridging across the northeast, uh, around Texas, and the northwest, with some troughing moving in into the northern plains as well. So may have to watch for some of these places in here for any potential of severe weather activity here. But the precipitation almost tells the story, and you can see here does predict that things could turn pretty wet for the Midwest, the central and northern plains, the Ohio Valley, parts of the southeast, and even for parts of the Great Lakes northeast as well, and parts of the Mississippi River Valley. Could turn a little bit wet, so we definitely need to monitor some of these areas here for the possibility for some severe weather, especially if we're going to have the trough in that general area there. This is MSLP anomalies. Does show we could have some low pressure systems in here as well as some ridging out here, possibly some ridging out here as well. So definitely need to monitor the setup here closely here, which I know some of these places actually have any severe weather so far the severe weather season. I believe some of these places in here hasn't experienced any severe weather. Some, not everybody, but some places haven't even experienced any severe weather this year. And that may actually change as we move into late May into early June. But anyways, guys, this is all for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you really like my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notifications so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, leave it in the comment section down below. I'll answer you guys' questions. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.